Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hadil and today I want to talk about 10 books that are under 200 pages that I am hoping to read this spring season, this quarter. So I've got the 10 books here with me. Let's talk about them. The first one that I'm going to pick up is Ernest Hemingway, and this is The Snows of Kilimanjaro. I'm really intrigued to read this. Never read it before. It is spare, powerful, tough, in part autobiographical, and totally convincing in their realism. Men and women of passion and action live, fight, love, and die in scenes of dramatic intensity, from haunting tragedy on the snow-capped peak of Kilimanjaro to brutal sensationalism in the bullring, from rural America with its deceptive calm to the heart of war-ravaged Europe. Each of the stories in this classic collection is a feat of imagination, a masterpiece of description. I'm really excited about reading this, and actually the key word in this for me is Kilimanjaro. I've been there. I've been to Kilimanjaro. I've got to the summit. This was over 10 years ago, but it was such an incredible experience, and just to have a book with the title Kilimanjaro, or the word Kilimanjaro in the title, excites me. The next book is this book here, and that is the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, and it is by Frederick Douglass. This book, born into slavery during the early 19th century, Frederick Douglass escaped to freedom before he was 21 years old. From the moment he arrived in New York City, he felt a need to tell his story, one that mirrored so many people still enslaved in the South with no hope of escape. As an orator and preacher, Douglass was an abolitionist, supporter of women's suffrage, and staunch defender of equality for all. In his first autobiographical work, published in 1845, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass describes how he went from slave to a free man. This is considered to be one of the most influential pieces of literature to fuel the abolitionist movement in the United States, and is heralded as a classic to this day. Okay, the next one is White Nights by Dostoevsky. Well, on the back it says, two devastating Russian stories of solitude, unrequited love, and depravity from beyond the grave. It sounds really interesting. Okay, the next one is Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton. With this intensely moving short novel, Edith Wharton set out to draw life as it really was in the lonely villages and desolate farms of the harsh New England mountains, through the eyes of a visitor from the city, trapped for a winter in snow-bound Starkfield. Readers glimpse the hidden histories of this austere and beautiful land. Piecing together the story of monosyllabic Ethan Frome, his grim wife Zena, and Mattie Silver, her charming cousin. Wharton explores psychological deadlock, frustration, longing, resentment, passion. First published in 1911, the novella stunned its public with its consummate handling of the unfolding drama, and has remained for many readers the most compelling and subtle of all Wharton's fiction. The next one is Beauty and Sadness by Yasunari Kawabata. So this is on the back. The successful writer Oki has reached middle age and is filled with regrets. He returns to Kyoto to find Otoko, a young woman with whom he had a terrible affair many years before, and discovers that she is now a painter, living with a younger woman as her lover. Otoko has continued to love Oki and has never forgotten him. But his return unsettles not only her, but also her young lover. This is a work of strange beauty, with a tender touch of nostalgia and a heartbreaking sensitivity to those things lost forever. The next one, a really short read, this one, is Miss Ice Sandwich by Mieko Kawakami. And this is the story of a young boy who returns obsessively to a supermarket sandwich counter, entranced by the beauty of the woman who works there. Her aloof demeanor and electric blue eyelids make him feel the most intense joy he's ever known. He calls her Miss Ice Sandwich, and he wants nothing more than to spend his day watching her coolly slip sandwiches into bags. But life keeps getting in the way. There's his beloved grandmother's illness and a faltering friendship with his classmate, Tutti. Wry, intimate, and wonderfully skewed, Miss Ice Sandwich is a poignant depiction of the naivety and wisdom of youth, just as it is passing. The next one is this one here, The Premonition by Banana Yoshimoto. And so the story is Yayoi, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, lives with her perfect loving family, something like in the Spielberg movie. But while her parents tell happy stories of her childhood, she is increasingly haunted by the sense that she has forgotten something important about her past. Deciding to take a break, she goes to stay with her mysterious but beloved aunt, Yukino, whose strange behavior includes waking Yayoi at 2 in the morning to be her drinking companion, watching Friday the 13th repeatedly and throwing away all the things she wants to forget. Living a life without order, Yukino seems to be protecting herself. But beneath this facade, Yayoi starts to recover lost memories, and everything she knows about her past threatens to change forever. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. Please correct me if you know how to pronounce it. And I don't know if you can see this. I really love the shine. I love the shine on this book. Another one I have here is The Vampyre by John Polidori. My understanding is that this is a classic. It was recommended by one of the YouTubers quite a while ago, and I've had this for, I don't know, a year, 2 years at least. So I'm interested in reading it. Another book by Banana Yoshimoto, Kitchen. And this is a tale. This is 2 tales about mothers: transsexuality, bereavement, kitchens, love, and tragedy. When it was first published in 1987, it won 2 of Japan's most prestigious literary prizes, remained at the top of the bestseller lists for over a year, and sold millions of copies. Yoshimoto was hailed as the voice of young Japan. The last book that I have on this list that I want to read this spring is one that I literally just bought a few days ago. It's a brand new book by Kang. I've never read Kang, but I do have her 2 of her books, The Vegetarian, and I can't remember the name of the other one. It escapes me, but I have 2 books of hers that I've yet to read. But this one is called The White Book. It says here, it is a meditation on color, beginning with a simple list of white things. It is a book about mourning, rebirth, and the tenacity of the human spirit. It is a stunning investigation of the fragility, beauty, and strangeness of life. Yeah, I really can't wait to read this. I'd love to know if you've read any of these books. what are your thoughts on this? And if you've reached this far, I would love for you to like and subscribe. I'd love to be able to grow my channel, to grow the community, and connect with people. So thank you so much, and until next time, bye bye.